How's it going, everyone? How's it going? Good to see you all on a Saturday. Uh, I guess maybe not, depending on what time zone you're in. But I want to go over some ARK stocks today, just because I saw a video from Jack Spencer, and it was on stocks that he thinks could be in the new ARK ETF, ARK X. Now, I thought that was really interesting, and I thought what we could do is kind of crowdsource and try to come together as a community and figure out what could be in this. So I will I'll go through a couple stocks that I think could be included in this. And then I'll be kind of asking you your opinions, how you guys are going to be investing in this. Now, I do want to hit on the fact I do have a video coming out after this, 5 SPACs that are just around $10, and kind of a secret of mine that I've been not that I've been holding on to, because you might have noticed it from my portfolio reveal, but something that I've been doing to get some extra capital and also play my investing a little bit safe. So I'll release that probably half an hour or so after the live stream, just because I couldn't get it downloaded in time. But be on the lookout for that. I don't know how long this one will be in, or how long it will be before this one before we're done with this video. I'm just going to throw out one mention in my Patreon to people that we're live streaming now. That way some other people can get in, some people that will probably have some opinions on this. So I'm just going to start in 1 second here. Sorry, everything got backed up a little bit. So just going to do this real quick and we'll get into it now. So Ark X is going to be the newest portfolio for Ark Invest. Now, they typically have been investing in 50 different companies or so every time that they start an ETF. Now, I think this is going to be really interesting because a lot of us probably don't know 50 different companies that are in the space sector. So if you don't know, first of all, I guess I should give a little background on Ark Invest. They're one of the top performing asset managers of last year. Oh, how's it going, Tyler? Nice to see you there. Shout out to Tyler Hill Investing. But they're one of the top performing ETF companies of last year. Maybe of 2019 too, but a lot of their portfolios, a lot of their ETFs performed really well and got 100+% rate of return. So when they announced that there's a new ETF coming, a lot of people are interested in it. Right when they announced it, the space stocks went up like 10 to 20% after hours within minutes. So a couple stocks that I think could be on the list. And just so you guys know, I have access to lucidtracking.com. I'm still working out like maybe some kind of affiliate relationship with them, but right now I don't have anything with them, but I have access to it so I can see what they're invested in now and see how much and how they've added over time, as you might be able to tell because I've done that in a lot of my videos. So right now, there are a couple companies that I know that they have that will probably be included. And I plan on actually going through Jack Spencer's video and kind of hitting on some of the ones that he's talked about. So again, shout out to him. I told him that I was going to do this, so it's all good. He's not going to be mad or anything. I think he might actually join in a little bit later. So we're going to take a look at it. First of all, they have Virgin Galactic. I'll pull it up here to see how much they actually have of Virgin Galactic, because they have a decent sized position, I believe, in them now. This is a company that is run by Sir Richard Branson, I should say. It's one that is very high risk, high reward, and that's something that we're going to see, I think, in this ETF in general. So I would not be surprised if they put some lower risk companies in here that aren't necessarily as exposed. So it's not just stocks that are trying to get up into outer space. It could be anything that's related to space. So I believe there are a couple different industries that they were talking about getting into, but I'll hit on those in a second. Let's just take a look at SPCE's position, or how much ARK Invest has in SPCE. Of course, my computer's a little bit slow because it's literally downloading a YouTube video now and live streaming and trying to search. So they have SPCE. They also have NNDM, which they've been adding to a lot. It's one that I've talked about several times on the channel. It's one that's a 3D printing stock, and I believe that is one of their I believe 3D printing is one of the industries that they're going to try to get into in this new ETF. Now, for SPCE, if you've seen how they've been buying, they buy pretty consistently, honestly. unlike some of the other companies, they sit and then they jump up and buy a lot when it falls. This one, they've been putting consistently 500,000 to about $2 million in a day. And at least over the last week and a half, that's been very consistent. And actually, if you look at it, I'm trying to think of how you guys can see me. Okay, yeah, it's a curve like this a little bit. It's going up like that. So I think that that's something that they'll probably jump into. Obviously, that's one of the most pure plays. If you don't know what they do, they're shipping up, they're commercializing spaceflight for about $250,000 a ticket. Now, something else that people are talking about, possibly FRSX. Now, I haven't looked into that one as much. I did a video on it a while ago. So that's something to consider. SRAC jumped up a lot after this news. Said NNDM, they keep on jumping up. They keep on buying more whenever it drops. So those are 4 stocks. I'm gonna kind of hit on a couple of Jack Spencer's stocks here, and I'll try not to crash this. So sorry, not FRSX. I was thinking about CPSH might be one that they jump into. So let's see. And of course, this is kind of a crowdfunding, so feel free to jump in with something that they might get into. So obviously SPCE, Sirac, another one, which is, I believe, merging with Momentous, if I'm correct. Let's see what else. Nano Dimension. I'm just browsing through Jack Spencer's video, honestly. Iridium Communications. We also have, let's see what else. And maybe I'll do a more structured video about this at some point. But we'll see on that. Maxar Technologies. And I think we have some time before this comes. Lockheed Martin, they work with the government, I believe. They're kind of a big contractor. Luna. What else? Boeing. Obviously, that could be a big one because they build planes, aircrafts. Could be really big in the future if we need them to build something for outer space or something like that. I don't know if they've gotten into that before. There's also Raytheon Technologies in Jack's video. And then, yeah, I think that's a good representation of what's going on. Can you guys not hear? Huh, that's weird. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, sweet. It might have been, we were right at the end of my video downloading, so that might be it. Okay, I think it should be better now. Sweet. Sorry about that. iMovie was right at the end. Sweet. Okay, we're good now. So those are some of the stocks that we're looking at. Now, something that I might be doing is, instead of trying to invest in the individual companies, NPA too. That's one that I actually hold right now. It's a video that it's a company that I made a video on a while ago. Something that I might be doing is I'm not necessarily trying to go out and pick all these stocks up. I mean, if I come across them and they're in the space sector and I like them, then I will be investing in them. But I'm not necessarily going to go out and try to look for all the best SPACs out there, the best space industries or anything like that. So more people are saying you can't hear me. You should be able to hear me. I can see the audio bar and everything. So anyways, okay, sweet. Okay, sorry. I'm getting distracted by all the people. Interesting. Okay. All right. So I'll just keep on going, but we can look at a couple different ways of investing in this. Obviously, we can just buy the whole ETF when it comes out. By then, some of these stocks will probably have run up a little bit on people thinking that they're going to be included. As soon as they are bought by Richard, how's it going, man? As soon as they are bought by Ark, I think the top holdings will jump up a lot because not everyone's going to look through all 50 holdings and really try to break it down, right? So I think the top holdings will jump up a lot. A lot of people will be bullish on those because they're going to be buying 50 million, 100 million, couple hundred million of these different holdings. Then after that, I think people will look at the pure space plays, the ones that obviously make sense, because people will be looking up space stocks now that ARK Invest is buying them. So the NPAs of the world, the SPCEs of the world will probably run up for the fact that people know that they're going to be included. The other thing we could do is just invest in the whole ETF. And that's probably something that I'm going to be doing. I've invested in Ark K and Ark G. So both of those are very well diversified, and I think we'll see another diversification in Ark X, where not every stock is a pure space play. A lot of them will be kind of associated with space or be used with their space exploration. So I don't think we'll necessarily see all these like 50 different pure space plays. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I will probably buy the whole portfolio. I hold right now the space stocks that I actually hold: NPA and SPCE. I think those are my only two pure plays. Now, I might be buying an NDM soon. That's kind of why I thought about this in the beginning, because I asked my Patreon group, shout out to my Patreon group, if anyone was going to be buying an NDM based on the fact that they'll probably be included in this new ETF, because I believe they have, like I said, I believe they have a sector just for, or they have a spot just for printing in this space or in this ETF, because they're very bullish on this in general. Appreciate it, Solus. Thank you for the donation. So yeah, I think that's something to take into account. I thought about investing in NNDM. I still haven't, just for everyone that might be wondering. I have covered it since about $2. Between that one and FRSX, those are probably, and Plug Power, those are three that I covered that have jumped up right around 100% to what Plug Power is probably 10x since I talked about it. Those are three that I covered that I didn't buy into, but have definitely haunted me a little bit. But obviously, hindsight's 2020. We can do that with everything. So I'm thinking about buying NNDM though. It's very speculative, because for me right now, the company in general is just a lot of speculation, because they don't really have much right now. They don't have a lot of clients and they don't have a lot of end consumers. So right now it's run up a lot. It's gone up about 10x, probably in the last couple months. And Ark Invest has been buying a lot, but it's based on the possibilities of what they could do in the future. But again, if Ark Invest buys a couple $100 million more of NNDM, I think it could keep on running. So it might be part of my portfolio that is very high risk. And I have a certain allocation for high risk investments. And right now, I think if I had to guess what my penny stock allocation is, now that BNGO has gone up so much, it's probably closer to 3 or 4 or 5% of my portfolio. But if you take BNGO out, because it's not technically a penny stock anymore, I have maybe 1 or 2% of my portfolio in penny stocks at any one time. I don't put that much in just because I'm pretty risk averse, honestly. But I'm considering it with NNDM. I would almost consider it like a penny stock, even though it's so much more expensive than a penny stock, just because it could fall back down pretty easy. So let me know in the chat, what stocks do you guys think will be included? I think, Jim, just to answer your question, I believe I heard that it could take up to 90 days or 75 days or something like that, but I'm not exactly sure. I'm assuming that they will. I don't know, because I haven't been around when they had done this before. Yeah, pretty risk averse, buys 10 penny stocks in a week. Yeah, so I've been buying and selling penny stocks, but I've been doing it in a way that I don't hold too many at one time. I think I held maybe 3 at one point this week, but I'm diversified in them, and I'm not putting a ton of money in them. Trevor, how's it going, man? Good to see you in here. Shout out to Trevor Hassel Investing. Alpine 4 Tech, CPSH will be included. Yeah, I believe they're working with NASA recently. Shot up a lot. NDM $20 to $25. Jason, good to see you in here too. Shout out to Jason Pullen Investing. A lot of these guys, the ones I'm giving shout outs to, are in our YouTube group here. Good guys to go follow if you want to see some other investing content. So I heard about DDD recently, but I'm not sure what that is. I heard about it because it went up so much. I'll just pull it up here. Three Systems Corporation, headquartered in Rock Hill, South Carolina. They manufacture. Okay, so they're a 3D printing company. So maybe similar to NNDM. They have about $3.5 billion market cap. Yeah, they shot up a lot recently. Was this a SPAC? The reason I ask is no, I don't think it was, but it was right around $10 for a long time. But no, I'm totally wrong on that. Back in September, it was $4. Now it's $28. It's just insane the amount of companies that have gone up 500% over the last couple weeks. Yeah, so I will most likely, like I said, be investing in Ark X. I think this is going to be probably one of the riskier portfolios, but I think it will be owned by the fact that not all of them are going to be space related like pure plays. Bod, thank you for the donation. What do you think about CTRN? And also, do I think BNGO will get Ark investment? So a couple questions there. I have not looked at CTRN. I'll just pull it up here so I have an idea for the company. Let's see. City Trends, an American retail clothing chain selling discounted products. I have not looked at it, but it's been going up a lot. Honestly, it's another exponential curve where just 6 months ago it was sitting at $17. Now it's at $61. That's interesting because usually I feel like we've been seeing large jumps, like 20% jumps on certain days. This one seems like it's very steady. It's steadily going up. So I might have to take a look into this one. It's still under $1 billion, it looks like, which is interesting. But if it's an online retail clothing chain selling discounted products, maybe that could be really interesting. Some other ones. Do I think BNGO will get Ark investment? Possibly. They've been unloading PACB, and it's weird because they don't typically unload a lot of stocks. I don't know if they just think it's overvalued. And again, this is just my speculation. I don't know if they think it's overvalued or if they're worried that there's competition in the space, because they don't need to shore up money for any other investment. It's not like they need to sell off hundreds of millions of dollars to invest in something else. It's not like us where we only have so much capital all the time, so we get paid every 2 weeks. Maybe some people buy and sell stocks so they can buy other stocks, but they get money in every day. So I don't think they really need to do that to go start a position in BNGO. Some people think that. I could be wrong, though. What do I think the price target will be if it pulls back? I'm not exactly sure. With this one, it's so hard to know. I'm not a technical trader. I know some people look at that, but I can see resistance, and I understand that when we hit certain price targets, people have sells ready. So I'm not sure exactly what it would fall to. I don't think it will probably fall back under 5, though. I think too many people will want to buy it. If it falls like 10, 20, 30%, it will kind of be bumped back up. So that's something to take into consideration. Now, I have been waiting. I've kind of forgot, but I do want to throw a couple plugs in because, as you guys know, this is my full-time job. So there's a link down there to WeBull if you guys want it. They're still giving away a lot of free money if you deposit $100. There's a link down there to my Patreon. There's 3,700 people in there now, so definitely check that out if you want. Most people make their money back in the first day of being in there, and you get my buy and sells, and you get everyone else in the community. Also, last thing, there's a link down there to BlockFi. They pay you up to 8.6% on some stablecoin and pay you like 6% on Bitcoin. And I've been investing a lot more in that. I have most of it in stablecoin. I'm becoming more and more bullish on Bitcoin and Ethereum by the day because it's becoming widely adopted by a lot of the big companies. And we're right at a transition where big companies are starting to believe in it. And if they start throwing massive amounts of money in it, I think it's going to continue to go up and kind of get crazy from here. But those are my 3 things there. If you guys don't mind hitting the like button too, I would appreciate that. And if you're new to the channel, I'm surprised we get like 50 or 100 new subs just from the live streams. So if you guys want that, you can definitely check that out down below. Someone says, what's the link to Patreon? There's a link down. It should be like 2 or 3 links down. So yeah. And if you can't get into the Discord, if you're on Patreon, let me know. Some people have a hard time with it, but I can help you out through that. Appreciate it. I'm glad that you guys like the Discord. Thank you. Will NNDM be added? I think that they will be because they already have them. Coach Cedric, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it, man. So I think that NNDM will probably be in there. I think that they will be included. They seem very bullish on the sector in general. I did mention that CPSH, I believe, will be in there. SNDL stock. I looked because I saw so many articles that were. So yeah, it jumped up a while ago from about 14 cents and it jumped up to 70 cents. It looks like now it's around 70 cents now too. So I've been staying away from it. Yeah. So do you guys think 5G will be included? Some people are asking about CCIV. Yeah, that one's interesting. Eric, appreciate it, man. Thank you. Chuck, my full-time job is to check in with all you YouTube guys. Yeah, it's a full-time job. I watch a lot of YouTube myself, so I could definitely understand that. A lot of people are talking a lot on here. Coach, appreciate it. Thank you. EXPC Ark X is scooping up the suborbital company for air taxis. Just made a video on it. You made a video on it? Interesting. Let me pull you up on here so that I can find it later. And just so you guys know, I'm just on my phone here. Coach Cedric. Nice. So you transitioned away from, it looks like, or maybe you're doing both. You're doing like health and wellness stuff and investing. Okay, I'll have to take a look at this. So you put 45K in it. Interesting. Okay, I'm clicking on the video so that way I can see it later. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. They Ark actually recently bought another company. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I believe it's Blade or something like that. It's basically helicopter taxis. I wonder if they'll do something like that. I mean, they're talking about space, but I'm wondering if they could also invest something like that and consider space because it's in the air somehow. So that could be something. Now, some people, again, are asking for the Patreon link. Let me look. I believe it's right underneath. I don't know why it wouldn't be. So I'm just pulling it up now just to see. Yeah, so if you guys want, you can look over in the description, and it's right under the WeBull link. So yeah, definitely take a look at that if you want, but we'll get back to it here. So I think that would be interesting. Maybe I need a new computer, that can handle all this stuff. Let's see. I might be able to pull up Lucid down because I have the new space taxi stock. I did a video on it a little while ago. So it's EXPC. That's the one that they bought recently. That could be an interesting one. Is that the same one? Yeah, that's the same one that Coach Cedric bought. So I saw that right when they did that. Okay. Yep. So you said air taxis. Yeah, that one's interesting. I made a video on it too. I could see them doing that. Check out eHang, please. Helicopter taxis. Oh, the one that we were just talking about. When's the day the Ark X will be available? I'm not sure on that. I don't know if they've announced that. And I should have done this, but I have not gone through like the SEC documents that they've filed to see that. But if you guys want to go look, you can probably search it like right on your computer right now if you want to help out the chat. If you can find out something, and if there are a couple people that say the same time, that would be pretty convincing there. So I did mention the stocks that I think will be included in our Ark X. We don't know yet, but you can scroll back to the beginning if you guys want. Ark Space Analyst Sam Chorus tweeted about SRAC. Yeah. So that's something that we could do too. I guess I hadn't even thought about that because a lot of people are following Simon. I forgot his last name, but he's like one of the biotech or biopharma analysts, and so many people have been watching him because they're think about BNGO, and he's been talking back and forth. And you can definitely probably go find the analysts like Sam Chorus that are the space analysts, because obviously they probably know a lot more than any of us. I think that could be pretty interesting. Maybe I'll reach out and see if I can talk with anyone that's in the space industry. I bet you there's someone in on the channel or in the Patreon that probably works at like NASA or something like that, or some space industry that might have an indication for kind of some stocks to look at. So you want me to put the Patreon link in the about section? So maybe I'll do that, but there is a link right under the video if you want that. What's the Robo taxi ticker? Okay, maybe I can pull it back up. I think it's EXPC if I remember off the top of my head. Yeah, EXPC. I thought about investing in it right when it was announced because they bought it and then it shot up. And I look like right when they buy every night, I get the newsletter and then I go take a look at Lucid tracking and I get the information right away. And right when they did that, it jumped up. So I don't know. I think it could be big, but if something else to consider, and Trevor Hassel talks about this all the time, is SPCE's point-to-point travel. I think that would be somewhat similar to the space taxi. I believe EXPC uses helicopters, and I think SPCE hypersonic travel, or I think that would be more jets. That would be different because it would be more for long distance and a little bit quicker. But the other one would probably be a lot cheaper. Justin, appreciate it. Thank you for the donation. So can I give my opinion on ZOM? So I actually talked about that one in a video a couple days ago. So I gave kind of an in-depth analysis on it. I'll pull it up here though. So ZOM has fallen down a little bit from the highs. Yeah, I'm always a little bit cautious to invest in these just when they're popping up so much. I mean, I put some money in Sens. I bought BNGO when it was going up, but this one was one of the few that I did not buy. And honestly, I apologize because I can't remember off the top of my head. Honestly, I look at so many different stocks that it's hard to keep all of them straight, but I did not buy it. I didn't feel the same way about it as I did Sens or BNGO. But you can find that full video kind of breaking it down. And I believe I put ZOM in the thumbnail so you can see. Yeah, Richard Branson SPAC VGC could go into this sector that made. So I actually thought about that before the video. I was looking at some potential ones, and I thought, man, they said they wanted to. I think they said that they wanted to get into the EV sector, and I could be wrong. But I believe they said that, or Richard Branson just in general said that he wanted to get in there, or there's gonna like 10x or something. And I thought about that before the video because they still not announced who they're going to merge with. So I think that could be really interesting, possibly be included in there. I don't think Ark Invest ever has invested, and I could be wrong on this, but just in my memory, I don't think they've invested in a SPAC that has not announced yet. And I think it would be really hard for an institutional investor to do that and be able to explain it to shareholders. CPSH, yeah, I talked about that a little bit earlier, that could be in there too. What's talking about? Okay. So I have not looked at HEC before. Talk about CCIV. So they had their shareholder meeting yesterday, I believe, or they had some meeting that was closed off to the public. I was going to live stream if I could get in, but I couldn't. I don't think it was publicly available. And from what I saw, I don't think they made any conclusive out of it. Sorry, lost for words there, but I don't think they had anything conclusive come out of it. So I don't believe they announced who they're merging with, and they didn't say that they weren't merging with Lucid Motors. So I do not have a position in AGAX. Did I get a chance to look at NMGRF? I have not yet. I have not looked at GRSO either, or Avenger. But what do you guys think? Tell me this, are you guys going to try to invest in the individual stocks that Ark is buying before or after they start investing in them? Desert Maid, thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate it. Talkspace will be the first and only publicly traded virtual behavioral health company. Interesting. Yeah, I might have to take a look at that. MCAC Playboy merger. I don't think there's any news on that yet. Okay, so you're going to try to invest, probably just buy ETF nice before, after GHIV. It's going to be hard because, like I said, there are going to be so many different stocks put in there. Right now, I don't have a lot of exposure to pure space plays. Like I don't have SRAC. I have SPC, but a small amount. NPA, I have a small amount too. So I might be just buying the whole ETF itself also. Yeah, Tesla might be in there too. Who knows? With them being closely tied to SpaceX, obviously through Elon Musk, they might be included in there too. Have I thought about CPSH? Yeah, I've been looking into that one. Will BTBT and CLSK rebound? So BTBT had a hit piece out on it. CLSK did too. I'm still holding CLSK. I never bought BTBT, but I added more to CLSK this week after the hit piece or after the short report. So I'm going to be buying the ETF itself. It's hard because, and you guys tell me this too, a lot of the time with these, they'll jump up right on announcement. And I don't know. So obviously this is different than like a stock, right? Where Ark Invest is. So with this, if a ton of people buy into the, it's not like it's going to spike because, well, I guess it could, because the money then goes to the companies and it could send the stock price up a little bit. But it's not like if they announce that they're buying BNGO and then like a whole ton of retail investors throw money at BNGO too. It's going to be that they just have more money and then they distribute it. So I guess the individual stocks could go up, but what I'm trying to say is it's not like there's going to be a huge spike in all the stocks like we would see in an individual stock, and then like people selling off just to collect profits. So I don't think we'll probably see like a spike and then a drop off where people are selling, because most people are going to hold this. So I will probably buy as soon as I can into it, because I think it might take people a few days because not everyone pays attention. Not everyone pays attention to it. So that's something to take into account. Will I reset the Patreon? All the spots are filled. If all the spaces are filled. So I closed off the bottom tiers mostly just because there were so many people joining that I get a ton of daily messages, like a couple hours worth. So I'm trying to respond to everyone, but it makes sense more to cut off those lower levels. So yeah, but I keep on opening the $10 ones. TTOOCRNT BEZQ Ark bought lots. Yeah, so I talked about CCIV already. GHIV merges next week with wholesale mortgage. I talked about that one a while ago. I held on to it, but then sold off, I believe. Or no. Sorry, I still have GHIV. I forgot. This is why I have too many positions. I have a little bit in it, but not a ton. So I'm just holding on to it for now. I've not looked at GRSO. Okay, I want to know, what do you think is going to be their top position in this ETF? And I'll probably get off here in a few minutes because I need to wrap up that other video on the SPACs at or around $10. But what do you think the top stock will be in their portfolio? And while we're doing that, would I buy more CCIV? Possibly. Right now, though, it's just a high risk play because it's not confirmed. So if you're buying it now, you're taking a higher risk because you're not getting in at that good price. I got, I think, right below 13. So if they don't merge with Lucid, then it's going to be a problem. Tesla, TLRY, CPSH, and then DM. I don't see them. So this is something to take into account. I don't see them buying NNDM as the top stock because you have to remember, how big is NNDM? I believe they're under $2 billion. So if they do that, if they buy, let's say, a couple hundred million of NNDM, they're going to own way too much. I don't think they want that much exposure. So even SPCE, how big is SPCE? I'll pull it up here. I think they've got to go with someone big. And I guess I could do this on my own time too, kind of look at the market caps of the companies that they own as the top positions. But SPCE is about 7 billion. If they start throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at it, I don't know if they want that much exposure to it. I think that they'll probably go with something that's a little bit bigger, maybe like a Tesla or something like that, honestly, just to kind of weight it down. But I could be wrong because, I mean, honestly, I don't know what they've been doing with Tesla recently. They kind of go back and forth, I believe, between buying it and selling it. And I haven't looked to see, maybe it's just on the moves of Tesla. But I don't know. In my own opinion, it's riskier to buy Tesla now than it was a year ago. Obviously, there's a proof of concept. People love Tesla now, but it's so inflated. If they buy that as one of their top positions and then it goes down significantly, they're going to post really bad returns, I think. But I could be wrong because they don't put a ton of their assets in any one position in the portfolio. So, that's just something I was thinking about though. Okay, SoFi to the moon. Yeah, talk about BNGO future. So it's they have some potential catalysts coming up. Their symposium week seemed to go really well. So that's why I held. So many people were saying, like, should you sell at 720 or something? And honestly, it came down a little bit this week. But I said, no, there are too many potential catalysts coming up. I can't sell off right before symposium week because I believe they went up a decent amount this week on all the news. Okay. So I think, okay, I can only keep 10% of Tesla at a time. That's why they sell, dude. Yeah. So I believe they can hold more than that. But yeah, I think they've said that they only want to hold that. So that would make sense. They want to keep it right around 10%. So I appreciate it, guys. I want to keep this a little bit short, shorter than usual. So if you guys want, you can go check out. I will be posting this video here in a little bit. It'll probably take about 15 minutes, but I will be posting the video on 5 SPACs right around $10, and I kind of tell you about something that I've been doing that I think is going to increase my returns this year a lot more probably than other people, and it kind of protects from downside. So be on the lookout for that. I appreciate it. If you guys want, you can check out the Patreon down below. If you guys want, you can check out the free stocks on WeBull. A lot of people have been asking me too what I use for some of the OTC stocks, which are very risky, just so you guys know ahead of time. I use Fidelity. I don't have any affiliation with them, but I talk about that too. But I appreciate it. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for hitting the like button, and yeah, we'll see you here in probably about half an hour in that new video. Bye.